Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Lila and my channel's name is Hi from Hamburg because I'm an American girl who is living in Hamburg, Germany. Please subscribe if you'd like to follow my videos about life in Germany, learning German, what it's like to date a German guy. I don't know. Anything else I can think of, I'll be uploading it. So, in this video, I'm going to answer questions that you guys left me on Instagram. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, I'll put the link down below. So instagram.com/hifromhamburg. So you guys asked me a lot of questions. One of the big ones was, why did you change your channel name from lamblike to Hi from Hamburg? So I changed my channel name because I just felt like lamblike did not represent my content, and I always got so many questions from people asking, why is your channel named lamblike? What does that mean? What does it mean? And also a lot of brands reach out to me, and I just felt like I wanted to let them know, hey, this is what my channel's about. And so yeah, this was more of a professional change of ways. And also it's been 4 years or 3 years or something since I created that channel, and I've grown as a person throughout the years. I'm no longer someone who identifies with the name lamblike, and a lot of people have been calling me like Lämmchen, kleine Lämmchen, lion-like. And so I've just become I'm really sick of being associated with terms of weakness. And I know no one, and please don't get offended by that, no one I think has been doing that on purpose. They obviously like my content who have been naming me this. It's just a personal decision. So if you guys can just please call me Lila, I would really appreciate that. And sorry if you guys like the name lamblike, but I know some people probably won't see this video and they'll probably continue to call me that. It's whatever. I just don't like it. So the reason I named myself now Lila, if you want to call me something alternatively to lamblike, I think Lila is a good alternative because Lila, L-I, is the L-I in like, and then L-A is the la in lamb. So it's kind of like a nickname for lamblike, and it doesn't make me think of the word lamblike. So yeah, thank you guys for calling me Lila or for calling me Hi from Hamburg. Your guys' choice. Why'd you move to Germany? I moved to Germany because there's 3 answers to this question. So the first time I moved to Germany was in 2016. I chose my second study abroad semester to be in Hamburg, Germany. My first study abroad semester was in London, and that's when I took a trip to Berlin and just really fell in love with Berlin, and I wanted to study in Berlin. And then when I went home to my university back in California, I found out that the only university option for me in Berlin, you had to have passed a very difficult German test, and I had not learned German yet at this point. I had just gotten back from London from all my exams, didn't have time to learn 2 years worth of German in like a month. So I saw that Hamburg was the closest to Berlin, and it's kind of cool that it worked out like that. I mean, I'm curious what would my life be like if I chose Berlin, or if I was able to study in Berlin at the time. But I'm really happy with Hamburg. It's now my new home, and that's where my boyfriend's from, which I'll talk about soon where I met him, because it's a funny story. So then the second time I moved to Germany was for my master's degree. I studied in Oldenburg, Germany, and the master's program was in related to psychology. Yeah, because I studied psychology for my bachelor's degree, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, so I wasn't sure about the master's program, but I thought, hey, this is a good way to find out. And there's no tuition in Germany. You just pay the semester fee, which gives you free access to all the public transportation, which is pretty awesome. Life as a student in Germany is pretty awesome. The classes and the class style, not my favorite. I can make a video about that in the future. Yeah, as someone who struggles with a learning disability, definitely not fun compared to the US system. I find just works for me better. But anyways, that's a video for a different day. And then the third time I moved to Germany, I had quit my master's program 1 year later. I switched to taking full-time German classes at the university in Oldenburg, and to do that you had to apply for a bachelor's program, which I was open to doing the bachelor's program, but I needed to first pass the German university entrance exam, which I had failed. I had to pass the B1, so the B1 test, which was this really hard format. It's like filling in the boxes, and you had to know all the endings to all the German words. And so I just didn't study hard enough, even though I had all the tutoring and anyway, so yeah, I didn't get my visa. That sucked. I had to go home. Then I planned to come back to Germany and pass that B1 test at the university in Oldenburg. So I got all this private tutoring from a company who I'll be making a video soon about that company. I spent quite a lot of money, but they totally helped me, and I passed my test. So I've moved to Germany 4 times. 3 times as a student status. Well, the second time was kind of like tourist because I didn't get my visa. Anyways, then I was able to study at the University of Oldenburg. I had a car accident. I'll link that video down below if you don't know about my car accident. That was pretty traumatic, pretty extreme. Couldn't walk for a month and decided after struggling for a long time to find an internship in Germany. Did not work out for me and my visa was running up. Could not find anyone that wanted to hire me with just a bachelor's degree in psychology and a not finished degree from my master's. So yeah, so I decided, and also my grandma had began to become sick right when I was recovering from my car accident. So for me, it was the right decision to go home for a year. I actually lost my grandma this year, which, sorry. So I've been wanting to make a video about that actually. Like people ask me, do you love living in Germany? There's like good and bad about living abroad. So I talk a lot about the cool, like the fun stuff about living abroad. The stuff that you don't hear too much about is like, it's actually pretty hard to be an immigrant in a different country. One is because you're very far away from your family and your friends. And that was something I didn't experience until my grandma got sick. I never experienced losing a family member. So I was totally okay not to come back to Germany, which I haven't talked about on this channel. So, and then it was a few months before I lost my grandma is when I met my boyfriend. And that's the next question. Why am I living in Germany right now? Okay, so I was home in California. I was dating, I was ready for a relationship, I was ready to settle down in California actually. I thought, okay, I've tried my best at living in Germany, it's just not working out. I couldn't find a job as much as I tried. I found in California, it took me 6 months to find a job. So I was like, if it took me 6 months to get a minimum wage job in California, I just didn't have hope for Germany. Anyway, so yeah, I gave up on Germany. I was dating. I was just so sick of the American guys. After you've lived in Europe and you've dated European guys, especially German guys, at least the ones in the university circle, I found them to be very educated, very smart. And then I just felt like I couldn't relate with a lot of the guys I was going on dates with. They didn't have interest, not to be super mean, but there was quite a lot of idiots. I don't know, that's so mean. At least the ones I was meeting. So one day I saw on the Bumble app that there was this guy who in his bio said he was from Hamburg. So he was in California for a paid internship. And I just got this flashback because at this point it had already been 6 months since I had left Germany and I was starting to miss Germany a little bit, which honestly I hadn't. I wasn't missing Germany. I was still kind of dealing with PTSD in relation to my car accident. And I was okay never to go back to Europe. I felt like the drivers were aggressive and the streets were really small and it felt really cramped. I liked the space in America, like we have a lot of land. My family's there, it's everything I'm used to. But after 6 months, I went on a date with him and it just clicked. And I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Because yeah, I was so happy at this point to stay in California. Like I had lived in Germany for a total of 2.5 years. I was able to speak German. So this is actually another reason why we clicked, because I asked him, were you open to dating an American girl? And he told me honestly, no, he doesn't like the mindset of a lot of Americans. He just couldn't relate with them. But he said until he met me, I could speak German, which shocked him because what girl from Los Angeles you meet on a random dating app can speak German with you, you know? Yeah, it's actually a little side rant. A lot of Germans I've met, they're like, you don't need to learn German. Let me just tell you one thing. Because I learned German, I am able to communicate with my boyfriend's family. And that is so cool. So that is my biggest motivator, is actually to communicate better with my boyfriend's family. The job I'm going for, that I think I'm gonna be getting, I don't know I'm gonna need German for the job. Yes, he could speak English, which was great. We actually speak in English. So, and please don't tell me to what language I should be speaking with in my private relationship. That's another thing, a lot of you guys, I know you guys are trying to help me and stuff, but that's kind of a private relationship thing. So yes, we speak sometimes in German, but our language is in English. That's how the relationship began. We spoke a little bit on our first date in German, but to get to know someone, it's really nice when you can communicate. So we've been together now a year, and yeah, so please don't tell strangers on the internet what language they should be speaking in their relationship. That's just a pet peeve. I'm gonna be a little bit more direct on my channel, and I know Germans say they like directness, so I hope you guys are okay with that. I'm gonna be a little bit more direct. The sun, by the way, is going down, so I don't know how good this lighting will be. The sun goes down in wintertime in Germany at 4 p.m. Why did I not recognize this before? I studied during the wintertime in Oldenburg, and I just don't know why I didn't even recognize how early the sun went down. Super weird, I don't know. How'd I meet my boyfriend, and is he the reason you want to stay in Germany? Oh yeah, okay, so we decided after realizing it's gonna be way too hard. With his job, it's just the type of job that is very difficult for him to find work in California. And we're not interested in getting married for reasons for a visa, not until that's, for us both, we agreed that's the absolute last resort. That's not something in our interest. And I was okay to leave my job. I was very happy working actually full-time for the last year since I got back, and I was getting paid pretty well. So it was hard for me to leave my job because that was my security, and I haven't felt that in a long time, being a student since I was 18. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about what I'm up to right now in Germany. It's kind of an ongoing process, but I'll let you guys know once I have all the answers. My goal is to be, of course, fluent in German, but it's probably gonna take me a little bit longer than it would someone who gets a job in German, because you learn the fastest when you're on the job, and I know that because my ex-boyfriend was German and we spoke only in German because he did not want to speak in English and he didn't need English. Anyways, you guys don't need to tell me how to learn German. I know. I've been around the block. I know. And I'll be making a video in the future, like how I'm learning it my way. Is that the reason you're staying in Germany for him? In the past, I came here as a student. It was my choice. I came here all by myself. I wanted to live in Germany by myself. If you ask me nowadays, would you move to Germany? I would say not without my boyfriend, not because of my boyfriend. In the past, if you asked me, I'd say, yeah, totally. I enjoyed Germany. It's really hard being away from the family. So, and the friends, I had met a really great group of friends back home, so I really miss them. So that sucks. But good thing for social media, we can stay in contact still. And I have really great friends here in Hamburg too. So also very thankful for that. That's another pet peeve. I'm being very honest in this video. German commenters will say a lot, like the American friends they met were really superficial and they seemed like the friends they met were really close, but in reality they weren't. And they said when you meet a German, they're the closest friends that you'll ever have. They're just tough in the beginning to meet. I don't really like that saying, which maybe that makes sense for some people, but it's kind of like offensive for me when I think like, no, my friends back home are really, really good friends and very deep friendships. And I've met Germans who it's the same way both ways. I think people are way too complex to put them in this like culture bubble, which maybe I would have disagreed with that statement years ago when I started my channel, but I've met really outgoing Germans. I've met really shy Germans. You just don't click sometimes with certain people. Sometimes you meet up with someone, you don't know why, the conversation is just not going well. I'll make a video in the future how I meet my German friends. I think if you want to meet friends, it's possible. And I think if you're not making friends, there's maybe something you need to work on personally, that you will be able to find the person that matches best with you. I think I did a lot of soul searching in the last years to find out who am I? Who do I click with? What are my hobbies? Stuff like that. So I kind of know my type of person, usually. I kind of know who I'm going to get along with and who not. Was there a moment when you realized that you want to learn German or stay in Germany? So staying in Germany, of course, now it's because of my boyfriend, like I just explained. I think meeting him was my reason now for actually wanting to stay in Germany. In the past, I was never sure because I couldn't get a job. It was just Germany didn't seem to want me. Or they didn't want my skills at least. Which I'm a really good employee, by the way. So when I wanted to learn German, actually, so sometimes I like hate YouTube and I like YouTube. During my master's degree, I was very stressed because I was struggling so hard in the master's degree, and we were offered these free German classes at the university from amazing professors. at the same time. So yeah, and at the time for me, my master's degree was kind of the first priority because that's also my visa. It was extremely stressful. So the German class was kind of at the time lowest on my priority list. It wasn't until I think I made a video after like 6 months being in Germany during my master's degree, and it was my first German speaking video. I think I had like A2 level. So I could barely say, I couldn't say sentences. I was just, yeah. And I got a lot of hate. And you know, a lot of times when I get hate, it's just I ignore it and it's just haters and trolls on the internet. But I kind of wanted to show people like, hey, like I can learn German. And I really thought it was impossible. I really thought, because I have this learning disability, which I'm not going to talk too much about, but it makes life really hard in school. Always has since I was little. But I thought, like, I want to show myself that I can learn it. And as you guys can see from my recent videos, I can speak German. I'm really proud of that. I speak it terribly with horrible grammar, which actually I think I just need to refresh my grammar, and I think it should be better, which I'll be making a video soon. When I had better German, when I passed my B1 test, the paper I used, I had a cheat sheet that I used that really helped me to get my German to be better. Yeah, so I just kind of forgot a lot. Like, yeah, I learned that studying is really important for the grammar in German. So before I met my boyfriend though, did I think about moving to Germany? And yeah, that was because I loved, like at the time, I loved dancing and I loved the techno scene. I like dancing. I don't really care like what are the names of the DJs. I just want to dance to good music, and yeah. So I liked Berlin a lot. I kind of wish I lived in Berlin just to see what it would have been like before the pandemic. Cause yeah, the nightclub scene of course it's so sad. It's so sad. And yeah, being a student in Germany versus living in Germany is quite different. So if I recommend someone in the future like, hey, I want to move to Germany, how do I do it? My advice, be a student. It is a great introduction to Germany. Be a student. Much nicer. I mean, unless you get a job offer, then that's awesome. Then you're like, hey, you got a job offer, you're working, you're earning money. That's probably also a really good introduction. But the student life, you get like friend groups and you get put into this like introduction week, orientation week. And so I think what I've heard from people who are working in Germany, the friend group part is hard, but I found a way around it. Facebook groups. Really easy to meet people on Facebook groups. How is my life here? How's my life here? I mean, I'm very, very happy. I miss my family. The weather's really cold. I have good days, I have bad days. My German class got canceled because of the shutdown, so I was kind of enjoying going to my German class. So now I'm kind of stuck at home, and I think everyone can kind of agree with that. Being stuck at home, it's not that fun. I have a lot of other stuff to talk about. I just can't talk about it right just yet. The things I'm working on right now in the background. How is World War II education taught in the US? So my only memory of World War II was just learning like how it began, how it was caused. I was very interested. People wanted to be in my group in our world history class in high school because I was the only one doing the homework. I was super interested in the topic. By the way, I'm not interested anymore about learning about World War II. A lot of you were being really nice when I talked about how I used to be really interested in World War II, and so a lot of you have sent me some really interesting stuff, but sorry, I cannot. I've learned everything there's possibly to learn about it. It's just so hard for me now to like hear about it. It actually started when I watched this video about, I think it was Czechoslovakia. It was about this little indie film, and they showed the torture scenes. Anyways, it was too much for me, and I was like, okay, that's enough World War II for me for the next 10 years. But that was the original reason I became interested in Germany, which is kind of funny because I don't even think about World War II at all anymore. I got a good education, I think, in World War II because I was interested in it. I think other students probably just saw photos and saw, oh, Holocaust, wow, Germany. They probably didn't get too much in their brain because most of the kids in high school were partying and didn't care about high school, at least the people around me. So that's why I wanted to move to Europe, by the way. I did not like the people that were around me in high school, and I just wanted to get far away from them at the time. I think a lot of Americans just know Germany for one thing, and it's Oktoberfest and World War II. You can say that's sad, but I mean, what do Germans think of Americans? They think we're fat, that we are stupid. I think every country stereotypes the other based on whatever information they know. Not everyone is like that stereotype. Pet peeves. I'm so annoyed with these like stereotyping other countries. I have a video I could make about the one time this really drunk German guy in Oldenburg, like people had to like hold him back because me and my American friend we were just there, and then he saw us speaking English, and then he started going. He was so drunk, like way too drunk. Not a good excuse, but that was his excuse, I'm sure. And he went on this rant about like how we probably voted for Trump, which we didn't. So people can stereotype each side. So how am I getting my residence permit? And that's the video I'm gonna make in the future. Yeah, I'm good. I'm not worried right now. I have something. So anyways, okay. What's a question I'd like to be asked? Why do you guys think that all the Americans who make videos about their life in Germany get along? That's all I'm gonna say there. So the most striking differences I would say is, yeah, just the coldness of the Germans. Sometimes in Germany you're like, or at least in the comments from Germans, I'm like, why say that? Isn't there like a saying in Germany, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all? I think it's just the YouTube comments. The people that comment, like I do not make comments on YouTube channel, on YouTube videos. Very rarely will I ever make a YouTube comment. So I feel like the commenters are usually the loudest people in the room. Yeah. And if you're a nice commenter who leaves nice comments, thank you. Also, if you're someone who says, hey, I liked your video, and then continues your comment, I like you. Do you know how much work it is to edit videos? So just someone appreciating that I'm uploading, it's so nice. It's so nice. Have you considered uploading older videos? Actually, I lost all the videos because I deleted them all. So no. I have one video I want to upload from my old channel. It just became too cold to kind of do the idea I had in my mind. I still have that one, thankfully, but I lost all the other ones, but it's okay. I wasn't super happy with my content in the past, so. Yeah, I don't have like space. I have just like one external hard drive. I can't like afford all these external hard drives, so I usually just delete my videos. I know it's kind of stupid, but I'm trying to do better now with actually saving my stuff. And then someone asked, where's lamblike? She is gone. No more lamblike. Lila, I like Lila. How would you describe Germans? I describe Germans as being very logical and very good at not getting their emotions in the way, at least from all the dogs in Germany. I mean, in Hamburg, even, yeah, I think everywhere I've been in Germany, I see very well-trained dogs. So that only makes me think the people are really good at not using their emotions, because for me, I am more emotional than I am logical. So I would be a terrible dog trainer, because I just don't want to be mean and like raise my voice. And so yeah, I think it's like a really cool skill that Germans have. Not everyone, of course. Like I said, I don't like generalizing a whole country. Like I don't like people generalizing me. How long did it take you to learn German? So I took a lot of breaks in between, but if I didn't take all the breaks in between, I would say about 2 years. That's what I would say it took me to get to B2 level, because one semester is a half of a level. So it's like, the A level is 2 semesters, so like A level 1 year, B level 1 year, 2 years to get all the A and B. So like B2, I would say. If you're taking intensive courses, which is the only one I recommend, I love intensive. So like morning to afternoon learning German all week, Monday through Thursday, Monday through Friday. That is, I think, my best way of learning, and I recommend it. And not just class, like you can learn for like an hour and then just doing homework for the next 3 hours, I think. And when I got private tutoring, which I'll talk about that in a future video, like private tutoring, they can only teach you so much. Like you have to do a lot of self-learning too in the book. I'll put a link in Amazon down below. Talk about that more in the future. And I learned 4 years of French in high school, if you guys didn't know that. And my high school teacher was not very good, and I was also a very bad student. So a combination of those things. I'm very bad at French. That's my point. And no, I don't want to learn any other languages at the moment because German is hard enough. And I watched a video about this language expert, and they were talking about how it takes like just so many years, like over 5 years, to get just absolutely fluent in one language. And your brain doesn't have the space really. Like you could, but you're gonna just be bad at 2 languages instead of really good at one. So that's why I'm focusing on German. Favorite food in Germany? Weltmeisterbrot. So good. And I know Germans are like, oh, it's not fresh from the bakery, it's in plastic, it can't be good. I don't care, it's good. Good to me, I like it. So many of my German friends love it. So it's from Rewe, the Weltmeisterbrot, so good. What food do I miss the most from the US? So it's like the food I liked was really unhealthy, so I'm not sad that I can't eat it. Like Mexican food, like the tacos were so good. The Tex-Mex, I love Tex-Mex. Mac and cheese, the German mac and cheese, they put ham in it, I've noticed, in like the freezer section mac and cheese things in Rewe. They're like, no, we don't put ham in it. Where's just the basic mac and cheese? But I prefer making my own mac and cheese, of course. It's way better, and I don't like cheese sauce. So most mac and cheeses have that really gross cheese sauce in it. Typical California meal. Everything with avocado is a typical California meal. Avocado toast, avocado burrito, avocado sandwich. Yeah, all the sandwiches have to have avocado in it. Do I know the channel from Montana Showwalter? Yes. On YouTube in the analytics, it always tells you who are your viewers also watching. So I've recognized all these names. If you guys don't know, I find the topic of like cultural differences really boring. Like I love making them myself sometimes, but I don't watch them. Like sometimes I'll look at titles just to see like what other people are up to and like what's trending, what's not. And I don't know if you guys know, but majority of us in the American German community, most of our viewers are German. Germans are interested in learning about what foreigners think of their culture and country. You guys would think, I think that Americans would be really interested, but no, it's the Germans and the German males. So leave me a comment down below if you're German male. It's not good or bad, it's just an interesting thing. How confusing is der die das? It's very, very, very difficult and demoralizing when you're learning German. And then like every semester you learn something new that becomes more and more complicated. So not a fan, it's just what I gotta deal with and that's it. My tips on how to learn German. Because I took a class here in Hamburg and I was like, wow, these private schools are totally different than university level German classes. So I much prefer the university. You can tell from the German level of the people in your class in the private schools is not so good compared to the university. And also Sprachtandem partner, which I'll be talking about in the future. Just Google Sprachtandem, finding a language partner. There's many websites. And yeah, so I have a sponsored video in the future of my favorite websites. One of my Sprachtandem partners who I found on that website, which I'll talk about in the future. Like I visited Cologne, met him and his wife. He visited me in California with his wife and met my friends and my family. It was really great. Sprachtandem, it's awesome. So yeah, we did, back when I was doing like A-level German in Oldenburg, we were talking on Skype every week, 1 hour, 30 minutes German, 30 minutes English. That so helped me. But of course, I think having a class in combination is really important. Just normal German people don't know the grammar unless they're a trained teacher, so don't expect them to like fix your grammar too much. It's important to have a teacher. At least that's my style. I know other people have different styles of learning, but that's just my style. Lieblingsessen von Deutschland. So when I can handle eating meat, which lately I can't handle eating meat. So when I can handle eating meat, Rumpsteak is really delicious and Bratkartoffeln. So steak and the fried potatoes are really yummy. Do I read German books? I tried, but like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I have the learning disability thing and reading is one of the things that I find very, very difficult. But I used to love books, so something, I don't know, I think it's like a patience thing. Now and then I'll read German. So I learned lately an interesting thing in the German little book I'm reading, that back in like the 1950s, I'm not sure what year they changed this, they used to write like das, which is that in German. They used to write it like D-A with the S set, which is like that funny big B letter, which is a German letter, not an actual B. Yeah, now they don't use that. They use D-A-S-S for this that. So yeah, I'm learning interesting things like that from reading, things that I wouldn't have learned in school about how did German change throughout the years, so it's pretty cool. And the book is called Cider with Rosie. It's okay, I'm not really that interested. So I bought this book that I like in English from Wally Lamb. I forgot the name of the book, but yeah. I don't like reading the same thing twice, so I'm not that motivated. I like surprises, so. And that's also another tip why I can't follow other people's language learning tips, like read or watch something that you've seen before, but watch it or read it in German. And I don't really like TV and movies that much. I can't keep focused to movies very easily. Can you speak Spanish? Nope. I do regret not studying Spanish in high school. I feel like that would have been really useful. I chose French instead because I always wanted to study in Europe. That was always my plan. I had a bad experience when I visited Paris when I was 16 with my French class, which is why I chose not to study in France. I just felt like the people weren't that, I didn't have a connection with the people, at least not in Paris. So I had a very good connection with the people I met in Berlin back in 2016 when I took a little trip here from my study abroad in London. So that's why I chose Germany. It felt like more my people. Although I never told this on YouTube, I was supposed to study in Australia because I'm actually half Australian. And the semester that I applied to go to Australia, I happened to have done really bad in 2 classes, which I'm usually really good in my classes during my bachelor's degree, so it just was unfortunate. I did not get accepted to the Australian university, so instead I chose London. And then from London, I took that trip to Berlin. It's really interesting to think about what would have happened if I was accepted to Australia. Would I be in Australia right now? Would I not be in Germany? Interesting thoughts. Do you watch Otto? I've seen some of his stuff, but he speaks too fast for me, and I don't get the humor. I think it's like German humor. I don't get it. They say humor is the last thing you learn when you're studying a language, so maybe sometime in the future I'll understand German humor. I'm just happy I can follow the TV, most of the stuff on the TV now. That's really nice. Like I'm watching the German Bachelor, which I'm thinking about making a review about the German Bachelor versus how it compares with the American Bachelors. Have you been to Austria? Not yet, sadly. I really want to go to Austria though in the future. Can you speak all day in German with your boyfriend again and make a video? I just made one last week, so yeah. Check out my channel, and I plan to make more of those because they're really fun to make, and that's like the biggest reasons I'm learning German is from speaking German on video with my boyfriend and then editing it later because I have to search for all the translations because I'm doing captions now. Sorry for those in the past who watched my videos before I did captions. Now I'm doing captions. Oh my god, it takes so long, you guys have no idea how long it takes to make captions. I hope you guys who can't speak German enjoy those videos. Favorite part about Leipzig? It was just really beautiful, I thought. Like when you walked down that one street and you saw all these like old buildings. Like the east feel is just kind of different. Hamburg is kind of like industrial feeling a little bit. I mean, we have the pretty buildings too, but I like the really nice historical looking buildings a lot like Leipzig has. How hard is it to have a relationship with a German? I'm gonna just stop right there, 47 minutes. To find out the answers to these other questions I haven't answered yet, check back at my channel in a week. So I will be answering, how hard is it to have a relationship with a German? Where am I from? Do you like Würstchen mit Kartoffelsalat? Have you visited Oldenburg since you've been back? Do you know the other Americans in Germany on YouTube? Do you have a traditional Christmas movie you watch? Your favorite German word? What was the fires like in California? Do you find German history interesting? Have you had Grünkohl? And what sound does an elephant make in German? I found that one out recently and it's so funny, so maybe I'll have to make a video about that last point. Let me know if you have any questions down below, and sorry for this really bad lighting. It's like the sun is going down, you know, it's 5 p.m. sun's going down by sun. So yeah, let me know what you thought of the video and if you have any questions for me that I can answer in the next video down below. All right.